Welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft, aka Digging a Hole Craft, if I were to emulate fellow hermit, Mr. Cubfan, with his various crafting intros. The sun's going to set, isn't it? Let's hop into bed before we start this episode off. Alright then, so if you didn't catch the last episode, you won't know what this hole is all about, and I'll probably explain what it's for as we start building it. But right now I'm in the digging process, and I've had to move the beacon down here, reason being that the beacon range is 50 blocks downwards, and the surface where the water is usually about 64 blocks. So the very last bit down here at the bottom has been a little bit tricky, so I've moved the beacon down so we can keep the instant mine. Now you might remember we had the cave spider spawner over there, one over here. We've now got a third one, which is fantastic. And then down the bottom here, I'm just starting to encounter some lava, so I thought I would remind you of this tip because I needed to remind myself of it. The best way, the easiest way to get rid of lava is to just fill it in with a gravity block like this. You know, the first thing that always pops to my mind for some reason is to cover it with water and mine all of the obsidian. Now, if you need obsidian, that's fantastic and all good, but this is always 10 times better. Alright, we have hit bedrock. Fantastic. We can start building the collection system for this farm. The floor of the farm is going to be there, and we're going to collect it with minecarts going back and forth. Well, I say minecarts, I'm actually going to use one for this entire farm, or maybe two. We'll see how it goes. But down here you can see I put torches to light it up, and I don't know if things are going to spawn inside of a one high space that's got rails on top of it. Probably not, but bats might do, so I figured I'm going to put in some glowstone strips like this to provide some light across the bottom here, and we're going to put in some redstone blocks. I need to take a trip back somewhere to resupply because this is not going to be enough, as we're going to use powered rails and they need to power all of the powered rails obviously, so we'll have some sort of configuration like this going on down here and a bunch of rails going back and forth. Now over on this side we've got some lava they've got to be very wary of. Let's quickly block that up. And on the opposite side we don't. So over here is where we'll have our collection side. We can collect the items, bring them up to the surface or something like that, however it's going to end up working. What was the other thing I was going to mention? That was pretty much it, I think. The reason that we're going to go out on this side just a little bit beyond the boundaries of the farm is because when you have curved rails underneath blocks like this, it doesn't actually pick up the items in the furthest corner. So if ever something were to land over in this corner, this wouldn't pick it up. So for that reason, we always want to have a straight rail underneath the block that we're picking up from. And so the rails are going to go around the corner like this. So here it is, all finished, and I've used sea lanterns instead of glowstone because I have more of that available, and there's redstone blocks in the middle. You can see when we got bedrock, sometimes we space them out a little bit, and then over the back here you can see where they get unloaded, so the classic unloading redstone system right here. You can actually make this without a repeater, so it's a little bit faster to activate, but you can't do that when they're side by side because the redstone connects and you'd activate two at once, which I'm not sure would really actually mess anything up, but there you go. So we need the special ingredient, which is all the way back at the village, and the rumour is there's now 4 raids there, so we're not going to go in through the portal, oh no, and I don't want to be on the outside here. Let's do a little jump, cheeky little jump over the pillages, and there's one coming this way, but I'm going to go for it. Okay, and we're going to fly back over to the village, which is in which direction? I think... no, this is the correct way. Yeah, this direction. Well, it turns out I was going entirely in the wrong direction, and I am fine with that. And this place is looking super cool. No, I can see a witch. Okay, it's still going on, but we're not getting the raid meter on the... there it is. 4 raids. That's absolutely ridiculous. What is going on back there? Yikes. I don't know how we're going to fix this problem. But anyway, over here... aha, there it is. That's what we came over here for. So above the rails is grass, and this is where our passive mobs are going to spawn. But at night time it'll get dark here, and if regular hostile mobs spawn on this as well, it's not really a problem for me, as it's just more drops that I get to collect. This is a really cool combo farm because slimes will be able to spawn on here as well. Now as you can see, I've got plenty of wither roses. Think of all the endermen that died to create this farm right here. This is what it's all about, my friend, a field of wither roses. And of course the animals can spawn on the blocks that have these, so they will then be toast before long, which is why we're going to collect all the drops of the blocks down below. And by blocks below, of course, I mean the hopper minecarts. And yes, I did manage to wither myself, okay? Look, I've done it again. Jeez, leave me alone. Oh, this is awesome. I can't wait to see this thing in action, but we've got a ways to go yet. Do you know what? I ain't just going to fill this in with stone blocks. I'm going to put glass here so we have a viewing platform as well. So if ever I want to wander here and see stuff die, I mean I can. I'd probably need to be a little bit further back. There's probably a proximity from the player rule. Not sure if that applies to passive mobs. It does to hostile. But anyway, there's one more step to this. Actually, maybe a couple more steps. I've got to remove that beacon. I think we're going to leave it there until we've done some other jobs, just in case it turns out to be useful, like for chopping down trees a little quicker, because this farm ain't going to work with all this grass up the top here, and I think it's time for a little bit of a time lapse. So we will start off with chopping down some trees, and then we will be tearing out all of this grass, and I'm not going to try and tear out every single dirt block, so it'll kind of be a race against the clock as the grass starts to spread back. Well, if you enjoyed that time-lapse, be sure to let me know what you thought of it with a comment below, because every time I edit a time-lapse, these days I get more and more creative with the editing, and it is always really fun to do that. So as you can see, most of the grass has been removed, except for these 3 blocks right here, and since I recorded the time-lapse, I have been completely logged out, because I've had many other things to do with my time, and now I'm just spotting a couple of grass blocks, which is incredibly fortunate. And I don't see anything going on down there with animals at the moment, which is fine. I haven't had any time to test any of this, you know, or get anything going over here. And I'm not going to be able to do that right now because we're going to move on to a different project for this next part. But this will be unloaded, so if there is any grass, we don't have to worry about it spreading unless there is a player in the area. So I'm going to pick up my things wherever they are, head through this nether portal, and we're going to work on a different project. So I'm picking up my materials to put away, and I have a little sneak peek inside of this chest, and look at that. Some hostile mobs have spawned in the area, slimes have, no sign of passive animals just yet. There may be a little bit more work to do, like visiting the spawn chunks and just double checking that there are no creatures over there. Looks like we had a creeper as well, so that probably happened at night time actually. They could have easily just spawned on the grass. Anyway, let's get this stuff picked up and pack away. Yar. They sort of sound a little bit like pirates at times. They kind of look like pirates, right? We're back over at this place, our pillager outpost, and I have the coordinates of the perimeter up top. So I'd like to start work on that and basically try and get the rates in here a little bit faster. Also, if you remember, we have some redstone hidden down here. I did not expect it to open. I guess I hooked it up to the daylight sensor, right? Let's have a little look. Yeah, I hooked it up. Okay, so we know it works that way. That was amazing timing, by the way. Awesome. And then the problem is when oh, there's monsters nearby. So we have to kill all of these first. Yes, maybe the bed needs to be lower down, so perhaps there could be a ladder. But the real big problem is that this is going to go back up straight away, right? Let's see what happens. Yeah, now I'm locked in here. So I need to add an additional bit of redstone, which is actually probably going to be like a button that creates a timer in which this can open for a short amount of time. I'm actually going to do that on a live stream, and if ever those live streams interest you and you don't catch them live, they are on my second channel. My second channel is linked in the description box down below, so if you want to see me do some live redstone, that is the place to go see it. Let's tap spacebar to jump. Try and get up here with a rocket. That's fantastic. What I'm going to do up here is figure out the perimeter and create like a spawning radius around here where we can push these pillagers that are a little further away, closer to the middle when they spawn. Can I get under it? I can't get over it. I'll get under it then. I also might put a second iron golem up here, but that's what I'm going to be doing in my live stream. And when we're next back here in this video, hopefully I'll have something cool to show you. And I do. A few things actually. First of all, it's nighttime, so this is open, and the bed has been moved down and across by one block. That allows us to sleep in it when the pillagers are up the top, so it makes the room down here look a little bit more funky. And I will put a block in this corner over here so the bed will kick us out in this spot normally. Now, around the back here, we've made some modifications. The first one is to add a comparator coming out of the daylight sensor. This right here is signal strength 7. You can see that on the right side of the screen, and that means that this thing should actually activate at the crack of dawn. If we look upwards, there's actually snow on top of our glass, yet this thing still works, which I find rather curious. Anyway, the other side of it, this is the line that goes into the input to control the pistons. What we've done is we've inverted it here with a torch and then inverted it again on the other side of this block. That's so that we can kind of add a powered redstone signal in the middle of it. And this is it right here. On the other side there is a button, and that means if this is unpowered we can power it. And what this does is with some comparators basically creates a decay clock so that this thing slowly turns off. Let's actually break the redstone to simulate that, and you can see that it's slowly powering down and then it turns off. That means that the entrance over here closes. We can press the button and open it again, and then it will stay open for a while as this right here decays. So it turns out that the snow does actually interfere with the glass. So I'm going to put a glass pane on top to stop the snow settling on top of it. Although, as you can see here, we could use a light source. Oh, and we got a visitor. Time to run away. Just in case it messes with pathfinding or anything like that, I'm actually going to remove that and we'll just have the light source on the side. Alright, let's get out of this room. Let's head up top and check out the perimeter. Oh, and before we head up there, let's actually chug an invisibility potion. You may notice that I've taken off all of my armor, and now I'm invisible, which is fantastic. This is the way that we built the perimeter. We went through a few different ideas to kind of make it possible, but this one seemed to be the best. Unless I get real close to one of these pillagers, they are not going to come after me, basically. Now, this is the edge of the spawnable area right here. We're actually going inwards because we're trying to stop the pillagers from spawning around the outside and get them spawning closer to the iron golem while they're be noticed and then go into the middle. And at the moment, I actually think there's a lack of pillagers around here because most of them have been caught up inside the trap. I've not been killing them. And if we head over to this one right here, how close can we get to you, buddy? Like, within blocks. Oh, and now you see me, right? And look, I'm going to let him attack me. 2 hearts of damage. That's not a lot. And these things are quite easy to use. And now I've got a head, except I've got an inventory full of junk as well. I've been using cod again as food until I get my golden carrots sorted out. And then I've been using these ones for when my health goes down. Occasionally I get in a hairy situation. Usually when the invisibility potion has run out, right? That's when I run into problems. Anyway, this goes in by 8 blocks. We're going to go in another 8 blocks on all sides. So that's 4. And then an extra 1, 2. And I will start filling all of this in. I'm just going to hang out here and improve the perimeter. Okay, so it's been brought in. I think it's like 16 blocks from the edge on all sides. And there are less pillagers hanging out now because they pretty much, most of them, get attracted to the middle and fall into the trap. But we want to make sure that everything inside of our perimeter does that. So I need to bring on my camera account and do some observations. This guy won't leave me alone. But yeah, we're going to start flattening this area now. It might be that I end up putting a few more slabs and bringing it in close, but we'll be ripping down the tall bits on one side, like so, and then on the opposite side where it's low down, we're going to be bringing it up. So the entire thing is going to be level with the floor that we have here. So, job done. You can see the entire area has been flattened. And you know what? I'm not sure if it's a perfect square or not. It looks like it's slightly misaligned. I've seen a couple of pillages spawning over in this area. I've got a feeling the numbers of the bounding box I had might have been off, or maybe the perimeter wasn't quite right. Yeah, look at this. We have one spawning at the very edge. So I need to double check those numbers. But now what we need to do is make some observations of the pillages spawning and then heading to the middle. So if I go to my other account and start killing these pillages, which I'm doing right now. I've turned off the sound on that account so you can't hear it. What we should see is a bunch of pillages spawning because I'm freeing up the mob cap. Although I've killed them all and we got nothing. There is going to be caves full of mobs somewhere down here, so I'm going to fly up into the sky real high, and you can see it doing its trick straight away. That causes all the creatures down below to despawn. And then we get pillagers spawning and making their way into the middle. I can see some on the outside of the perimeter on one side, so there's definitely something wrong with that, which Riley will address. But now we can make observations and see from which points the pillagers will be attracted to the Iron Golem. So this leaves me with a couple of jobs to do in this area, of which I'm not going to be doing right now, but you can see that there is a big cave system under here. So at some point I'll have to make my way through it and light it all up. And then that is going to stop these hostile mobs spawning and mean that our pillagers will spawn rather frequently. I'm not going to jump in there right now. I'm going to get blown up. We put a lot of time into this project today. It's been fun, but we're going to go back to our passive mob farm now. Show me your moves, buddy. Show me your moves. There's a wandering trader somewhere down there. These things just turn up everywhere. So the farm is not working, and I thought I had found the solution when I was live streaming, but it turned out to not be so. So let's quickly jump to that clip. Peeps, right now I'm doing a live stream, and we have discovered where the passive animals are. Here in the spawn chunks resides a little bit of land that I was unaware of, grass blocks, and you can see, because it's probably been like this for a long way, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you need 5 animals to fill up the cap. So, bye-bye animals. I'm sorry to do this, but you gotta go. And then we're going to rip out the grass here, and that will be the last of it. Now, there's also grass over there on that island, but that's inside of the ocean biome, so there won't be any passive mobs there. Anyway, once we've taken care of this, I believe our passive mob farm will be able to work. So yes, I've been down there and we haven't got any drops from this thing yet. And no, the solution has nothing to do with this little bit of grass that managed to spread back over here. The problem is my friends, the turtles. I'm sad to say it, but they are part of the mob cap, which means that I have to kill turtles. This is a dark, dark day for me. It also means we need to dismantle sand on beaches because they can spawn there, supposedly. I asked Nembomb about this. So I hope he's right. He's usually right about everything. Yeah, so we now have to rip out the sand as well. I've ripped out this entire island because of that. And then we have to go back to the spawn chunks where, if you were watching in that clip, there were loads of turtles everywhere in that place. And then I've got to tear out all of the sand as well from that area, I believe. There's still a long way to go with this project. Here it is, folks, the spawn chunks, and behold the problem. Turtles, which are over here. There were quite a lot of them last time. I'm now really worried about some of them that have gone off and just been swimming around, because this area is always loaded, so there could be like lots of them in this area causing issues. They're easy to locate when they're at the beach, but then if they're out and about, it's going to be a real headache. We also have to tear out all of the sand on the beaches in the spawn chunks now, because they'll be able to spawn there. So lots more work to be done, and I'm not going to do it on camera, but these turtles have got to disappear basically. I'm not proud of this, okay? My first kill, and I got a turtle head. It's probably the first time I've ever killed a turtle in this game. Also, as soon as you hit them, they go and swim, so you have to hit them onto the land, and then they try and escape. Oh, so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. Hey, these 4 turtles weren't here a moment ago. We are seeing this in action. They all just spawned on the sand here. That's a really cool confirmation. These hoppers here, by the way, are where items come through from the ends, and they are completely filled up. Every now and then in a season, for some reason, something ends up going through the portal that's valuable, and you have to come back here and pick it up. And if this is all filled up, then those items ain't going to get saved, so we're going to get rid of some of this stuff. Anyways, back here at the island, I have fantastic news. We are getting passive animals spawning down there, and I'm going to try and capture it in action with my camera account. And look at this, I only caught a couple of animals. I have seen some more when I wasn't recording. First one being a sheep and a chicken, then a bunch of cows got wrecked. And I also caught some of the slimes getting killed on camera as well, as you are watching. So the farm is working, but there's still going to be more work to be done. So we need to add some sort of AFK points that gets the spiders in this area falling down onto the wither roses. Of course I need to remove the beacon, but I've had a fantastic idea on how to incorporate a hostile mob farm into this area as well. And so now my mind is really bubbling with ideas, and this project is going to expand in many ways. It's just the beginning, really. And now I have administrative duties to take care of, my friends. Between episodes I'll be attempting to fix all of the lighting issues again and upgrading the server to pre-release free, which is supposed to do that. But that means I've got to take it offline, upgrade it, and do all of that jazz. So this is the end of the episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. As always, thanks for doing that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.